Part 3, my mother the narcissist. Trigger warning because this one's going to have a lot of abuse in it. I'm a little shaken up from writing it because there was a lot of things that I had forgotten about until I started thinking about it. A lot of things I had repressed. Most of this is abuse that did come from my stepdad, but Maggie either allowed it or encouraged it. I'm not sure which, but I can tell you if someone treated my children this way, well, I'll let you guys be the judge. So, she met my stepdad when I was 7. Things seemed to be fine at first. They got together, they got a place in, it was a duplex, 2-bedroom. Me and my sister shared a room. And this is where I remember the abuse starting. And like I don't think it was really bad before this or anything like that. I don't know if it had anything to do with his injury or the drug use that followed. And I say drug, it's prescription. The doctor did give it to him, but this was, in the 90s when they were very flagrant with, come here, stop it. Very flagrant with how these drugs were going to affect people. It's okay, Mama. He's a good girl. This is Daisy, you guys. She's my fur baby. So Dio, my stepdad, was welding at work, and someone opened a van door behind him and didn't tell him. And come on, go lay down. Lay down. He stood up thinking nothing was there, and the van door went into his spine and severed all 5 of his lumbar. So it's a very severe injury. And hold on, I'm gonna let her outside. Sorry. So as I was saying, he had a serious injury for sure, and the drugs were very. Not drugs. The doctors were not very concerned with what the drugs were going to do to patients at that time. They were just giving it away, basically, and that's what created the opioid epidemic. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. But this is where things got bad and things got weird. I remember one time, I don't remember what I was doing. I was like spinning in a chair. I was being sassy. Disrespectful for sure, just being a kid. Something about spinning in the chair, and he told me not to, and I said something about make me. Well, he picked up the chair and threw it and me into the wall. I was 9. Another time, this was weird. This was before the injury, actually. We were all playing in the living room, just having fun, running around, tickling each other, whatever. I was like 8 or 9, so my sister would have been 3 or 4. And like my stepdad, he tickled me, and I farted on accident. And I was, oh gosh, I'm sorry, this is giving me anxiety talking about this. I farted on accident, because I was being tickled and I was giggling, and all of a sudden his mood flipped like a switch, and he changed up so scary. It was so scary, and he demanded to know if I had farted, and I was terrified. Like, he looked so angry, which was so different from my dad. Doug, because like we would always joke and about farts and everything, like it was funny, it was no big deal. So that was really scary, and I lied and I said no, because I was terrified of what he was going to do because I farted. And this man proceeded to make both me and my sister turn around, and he grabbed us by our hips and smelled our ass crack, like deeply, 2 or 3 times each, to determine which one of us had farted. And then we got sent to bed after that. He never ended up figuring out which one of us had farted, but like, why did my mother allow, they were still just boyfriend and girlfriend at this time. They weren't even engaged. And she still stayed with this man. And I remember how uncomfortable I was in that moment. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I was so scared. I was so uncomfortable because here was this grown man's face in my ass. And I mean, who do I tell? Who do I turn to? My mother sat next to him while he did it and said nothing. It was another 2 years before they got married. Sorry, I didn't realize how much that upset me. There was one time I got up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water, and he was up in the middle of the night, and I guess he said that I startled him because he couldn't see me and he didn't know who I was. I saw in the dark who he was. I went to go give him a hug, and he punched me in the chest. I flew across the room. He said it was because he didn't see me. He thought I was an intruder. I was 9, 8. I was like this fucking tall, dude. Managed to see me well enough to hit me square in my chest. There was another time where my innocent child mind, I was trying to explain to my friend something because that's what I thought was happening to her. I had just learned about racism. And she was telling me how all of a sudden these people didn't want to be friends with her anymore. And I said, well, I wonder if it's because of the color of your skin. You know, you're a little bit darker than me. Maybe that's why. I wasn't trying to say anything. Like, I remember my logic behind it. She was my friend. I liked her a lot. We hung out every day. She was my neighbor. I didn't care what she looked like or anything like that. And I couldn't understand why anybody wouldn't want to be her friend. And that was what my logic concluded to. That's what made sense to me. That was the only reason I could think somebody would not want to talk to her, which is also a dumb reason. And that's what I was trying to explain. And my stepdad overheard and mistook me for being racist. And he slapped me so hard. My head bounced off the wall in the hallway. And everything went black for like 30 seconds. I thought he had blinded me. I'm going to post part 4 right after this. I know I was only going to do one a day, but I can't leave you guys hanging on the rest of this information today. I'll see you in part 4.